Dan to Dan, Evil Eye, baby. Is it good? It's pretty damn good, if I do say so myself. Guys, I just got back from seeing the new hit anime movie of the month. They're coming out like crazy right now. While we were there, we saw a preview for, I guess, a new Jujutsu Kaisen one. Essentially, going into this, I didn't know that it was a first 3 episodes of season 2 kind of thing. I went into this thinking that it was like a movie, because, you know, I don't do research. I do not do research. But yeah, there's the big reveal. If you guys didn't know that, it is Evil Eye is just the first arc of season 2. So let's get into it. I'm gonna review it like a movie because it's presented like a movie. It's a very short movie though. It's about an hour and a half. However, I just lied to you. It's actually about an hour and 10 minutes because 10 minutes is at the very beginning is a recap of season 1, which I will say is actually fantastic. Not for me because I've seen season 1, but you know, if you want to bring a friend along, they're like, I don't know, there's so much to catch up on, you know, just bring them along anyway, and they'll be caught up. It was a good recap, not bad. Went on a little long though. And then the final 10 minutes of the film, essentially after episode 3 ends, it just goes to an interview with the co-directors of the next season. So, you know, and I thought that was pretty cool too. You know, nothing wrong with that. I think that's perfectly fine. They were going over, you know, how the feel of season 1 is going to be different from season 2. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Let me get into what you guys are here for though. Let's talk about the first 3 episodes, aka Dan to Dan Evil Eye, aka season 2 part 1. We start off, of course, at the end of season 1. Momo's old childhood friend Gigi shows up, essentially more or less asks our dynamic duo if they will do a bit of an exorcism at his old parents' house. He tells them that his parents are super sick right now. Something's going on with them. They go there. Momo and Takakura, they show up. There's nothing going on. The house looks perfectly fine. Momo goes off to take a hot spring bath. We see these really creepy neighbors, like really keeping an eye on him. Momo practically gets assaulted in the hot tubs. Meanwhile, Gigi and Takakura are spending time at the house, and they end up putting a hole in the wall, and turns out that there is this like really creepy room that they couldn't find before, that has all these papers across the wall that we see in the first season, which, you know, it has some sort of an effect on the house itself. Typically it's like a cage or something. More or less, Momo comes back. All the creepy neighbors, they start attacking them. They explain how there's this serpent god under the house that basically they have to give a sacrifice to, and that results in the serpent not letting the volcano destroy the town. All the neighbors and our 3 main characters end up in this deep dark hole where we see all the old houses. We see all the people who have died in the past as like essentially like these dead spirits. Yeah, we see all of that. The neighbors immediately get eaten, and then we see the big massive evil worm god tier design. We actually get what's so cool about the whole series is that we'll get like little callbacks, like oh, the granny was actually hiding in Momo's backpack. It'll go and then it'll like flash back to 2 episodes earlier, and it's like, oh yeah, remember when she was doing like this? She was kind of looking at you like that. That's what this meant. And there's another part where Takakura is looking at this magazine like 4 episodes ago, and it's like, oh, the worm was on the magazine. There's cool little drip feedings like that. It gets you to pay more attention when you're watching the episodes. But yeah, and then we find out that both the worm and the evil eye, because the evil eye is like this super creepy side eye looking thing, they essentially both have the power to make people want to off themselves. Very cool. So the worm is saying, you know, play Sudoku, and then the evil eye is like, no, you play Sudoku. That cancels each other out. Eventually, the evil eye takes over Gigi, and then we get the big evil eye Gigi versus Takakura speed granny fight. Very cool fight. But before that, Momo escapes the hole with the help of Takakura. She then ends up burning the house, essentially trying to get the worm to come up and essentially Sudoku itself, because if you didn't know this, they actually give you a little bit of a science lesson. Essentially, when it rains, it makes the soil really hard to breathe for worms. That's why when it rains, you'll see a bunch of like worms outside, depending on where you live. And then they, you know, if it's a sunny day, they kind of just, that's it. They dry up and that's all. And that's quite literally what happens here. She sets the house on fire. By the time that Takakura and Gigi are done fighting, the worm comes up, it dries out. And then the movie ends with the end of episode 3 as the volcano begins to erupt. What a god tier ending. Oh yeah, and Takakura and Gigi are still in, they're still in the hole, in the big hole. So absolutely god tier. I thought this was so fun. What an amazing start to a season. Honestly, at the end of season 1, I was a little disappointed because we end right at them getting to the house. And I thought that that was just sort of a boring place to end. But I'm really glad they ended there now, because season 2, this beginning, I was hooked the entire time. The entire time. The fights, the mystery, everything that's going on is fantastic. So I know that was a mouthful, but let's talk thoughts, right? In my opinion, I know I've been glazing the movie, but I'm going to hit you with a surprise here. I think that this is honestly a movie. You could probably skip this one, because unless you need to see these 3 episodes right now, they're going to be out in July. So kind of just think of it in that realm. You're going to see it on Crunchyroll anyway, so it's not really a big deal. The only exclusive thing that you're getting here is the interview at the end of the film, which is probably just going to be thrown up on YouTube or something. Now, anime does this a lot, so I should have expected it where the beginning or sometimes the end of a season will be presented as a movie. Jujutsu Kaisen, I guess, is doing it. We've seen Demon Slayer do it with several of their arcs, where it's essentially just a collection of episodes presented to you as a film. You pay money to go see it, and then that's kind of the only difference. I mean, you get to see it on the big screen, which, you know, it's cool. But sometimes you have things like Demon Slayer, Mugen Train, DB Super, the superhero movie, where it's made for the big screen. It is specifically made to be slapped on a god tier screen to be enjoyed by a theater full of people. But, and I really hate to say this, you can kind of tell budget wise where these two types of movies differ. And this one, and while this one definitely sort of belongs in that TV category, it just doesn't hit the animation peaks that Mugen Train or Superhero do. For a TV show, it's animated incredibly. It's fantastic. All of the fight sequences, when the funky music starts up and going, the way the camera's zooming in, the effects that are used, it's absolutely incredible. So I do think that it is more enjoyable to see it on a bigger screen, but I hate comparing it to the best of the best, but I have to. How many anime movies do I see in a year on the big screen? I'm gonna compare it to the best of the best. It was just very evident turning this into a film was more of a last minute decision. I don't know if they finished 3 episodes and they were like, yo, this is pretty sick, let's turn it into a movie. Oh, it's only an hour 10, throw on a recap, throw on an interview at the end, bam, now it's an hour and a half long movie. Especially in the editing. I guess this was mostly what bugged me. You know how in some TV shows, like in Family Guy, right? There'll be a moment where it's like, PETA took the kids, and then it blacks out, it goes to commercial, then it comes back, and they tell you the same thing again, just in case, I guess, A, if you forgot, B, if you swap channels for a second, or C, if you're just now getting into the episode. They repeat it, so they'll be like, oh, I can't believe PETA took the kids. So they kind of tell it to you twice. That happens here several times, and I don't know why they don't edit it out. Like, there's a part where Momo's in the hot tub, and she's about to be, like, assaulted by these creepy dudes, and they, like, jump on her, and then it goes to black, and then it comes back, and then they're, like, about to jump her, and I'm like, we just saw this. What? Which also especially doesn't make any sense with streaming nowadays. You know, I understand it for like 2004 TV, But like, if I'm going to be watching this on Crunchyroll, I'm going to have the exact same reaction. Like, why did we have to watch this, you know, 2 or 3 times? But honestly, I think that's my only real complaint, is that it just doesn't have that movie quality that I was looking for. But you know what? Maybe that's my fault for going into it with that expectation, because regardless, for the beginning of season 2, this was incredible. The boss fights that we had, the environments, the funky music. It's so good. I mean, these are the parts in the fighting sequences. The budget obviously goes mostly into those parts. If that quality was extended throughout the entirety of the film, I wouldn't have this problem at all, because I think the plot itself does work as a film, absolutely. It's just those little problems I was mentioning before. This is a tough one to score. As a movie, it fails partially because it doesn't have the budget to hide its flaws on a larger screen. Yet as a TV show, I'm hooked. I'm hooked from the very beginning to the very end. And the thing is, it is a TV show. I don't know what playlist I'm going to put this on. I have a movie playlist, a TV show playlist, and an anime playlist. So I guess all 3. Like, so, you know what? I'm going to rate it as a TV show. It gets a super incredibly solid 8 out of 10. But I do still stand by the fact that you do not need to go to the theaters to see this. This is something you can wait for, unless you are incredibly interested to see where the story is going. However, I mean, the manga is also out for that. But yeah, I mean, if it's by you, I had to go all the way out on a little bit of a drive to get to this one anyway. So maybe that's why I'm a little salty about it, huh? But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so I can keep doing this. Helps out a ton. And catch me next week for even more movie reviews and news. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.